A battle brewing over recently released inmates possibly being housed near neighbors in Shelby County.
One group wants to help prisoners transition into society, but some people say it's too close to home. CBS 42 News reporter Michael Clark is live at the property in question. He has the very latest. Michael.
Yeah, Sherry, this is the old Dixieland Trading Post flea market. It's where one group wants to build tiny homes for ex-offenders so they can transition back into society. But you can see at this lit sign here, it's very close to the town limits of Harpersville, leaving neighbors here in an uproar. It may not look like much from the outside.
This is the concept of the tiny house.
But Gil Franks believes these small homes can have a big impact. That's why he wants to see them built by prison inmates and used by those getting out.
Rent from those houses would go back to buy materials to build more houses. So it's a win-win. The men in prison get to build a house, get a certification, but they're building a house for men coming home.
Franks is LifeLink's executive director, helping inmates develop skills for release. The 2-year program requires drug testing with no behavior issues during a sentence, and Franks plan to have inmates complete their final 12 months of the program at the old flea market site.
Statistics show that men that are in an in-prison program that stay with a reentry program, the recidivism rate drops from 30-something% to less than 10%.
But for people who live nearby,
not in my backyard,
there are still plenty of questions for neighbors like Imelda Amezquita.
I have a disabled child and a young daughter, and it's just like, you never know what can happen.
Some neighbors felt the group tried to rush the project through. Frank insists that wasn't the case, and after backlash, he's putting plans on hold until he can meet with neighbors. Whether it's in Shelby County or someplace else, Frank says released inmates will go somewhere.
20-something thousand men and women in the state system right now. Approximately 90% of them will get out of prison in the next 10 years. How can we help a man come back and become a tax maker instead of a tax taker?
Amezquita knows there are programs that can help. She just doesn't want one so close to her family.
They may be doing good right now, but once they leave and fall into the wrong group again, you don't know what's going to happen.
Now, neighbors were initially concerned about sex offenders being housed here. Frank says that was a possibility until they learned that a nearby church had plans to expand to build a youth center here. So now this property can no longer house sex offenders. He says he doesn't want any offender here that the community won't accept. You can see here that there was a meeting scheduled for tomorrow, but because of all of the community backlash, that meeting has been postponed. We'll, of course, continue to follow this story. Reporting live in Shelby County tonight, Michael Clark, CBS 42 News, local coverage you can count on.